Have you ever wondered why people, even those closest to us, can sometimes betray our trust? It's a question that has crossed our minds at some point, a universal experience that stings with a pain uniquely its own. Betrayal, that devastating blow that can shatter relationships, be it with family, friends, or lovers. The effects are profound, often leaving us questioning our own worth and the trust we place in others. Now, what if we told you that the reasons behind such acts are often rooted in psychology? That's right. Today we are going to delve into the human mind to understand why some individuals choose the path of betrayal. We'll be exploring 3 key psychological reasons: self-interest, fear of intimacy, and low self-esteem. Each of these factors plays a significant role in determining why someone might betray another. So, what drives someone to betray another? Let's dive into the psychology behind it. First, let's look at self-interest, a driving force behind many actions, including betrayal. Self-interest is a fundamental aspect of human nature. We all have desires, ambitions, and goals we want to achieve. These personal interests often motivate our actions, and in some cases, they can lead us to betray others. But why is that? To understand this, we need to dive a bit into psychology and discuss a theory known as psychological egoism. Psychological egoism is a theory that suggests all human actions are, at their core, self-serving. It posits that even our most altruistic deeds are driven by some form of self-interest, whether it's seeking approval, avoiding guilt, or simply feeling good about ourselves. This theory might sound a bit cynical, but it's not about labeling humans as selfish or wicked. Instead, it's about understanding that our actions are influenced by our personal desires and needs. And when these needs conflict with the expectations of others, that's when betrayal can occur. Let's imagine a scenario. You have a close friend and they trust you with a secret. Your friend expects you to keep that secret. However, you find that revealing this secret could benefit you in some way. Maybe it's a juicy piece of gossip that could earn you popularity, or perhaps it's information that could give you an advantage in your career. In this situation, your self-interest clashes with your friend's expectation. And if you choose to act on your self-interest, you would betray your friend's trust. This scenario illustrates how self-interest can lead to betrayal. Several studies echo this idea. For instance, a study published in the Journal of Experimental Social Psychology found that individuals were more likely to cheat when they believed it would benefit them personally. Another study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people were more likely to betray a friend when they perceived that their own status was at risk. These studies highlight an important point. Self-interest doesn't just involve pursuing positive outcomes, it also involves avoiding negative ones. If we think betrayal will help us avoid loss or damage, we may be more likely to betray. But remember, understanding self-interest as a motive for betrayal doesn't justify it. It's not about giving a free pass to betray others because it's human nature. It's about recognizing the potential for betrayal within us all and striving to balance our self-interest with respect for others' trust and expectations. So this self-interest, this pursuit of personal gains, can often lead us to betray those around us. It's a complex dance between our personal desires and the expectations of others, and navigating this delicate balance is a part of our human experience. Next, we explore a more emotional reason for betrayal: fear of intimacy. This is a complex issue that goes beyond the surface level of relationships and delves into the depths of human psychology. Fear of intimacy is a profound anxiety that can be deeply rooted in past traumas or insecurities. It often manifests as a reluctance or inability to share oneself fully with another person, to expose vulnerabilities and engage in deep emotional connection. This fear can be so overwhelming that it pushes people to betray those they care about as a way to maintain emotional distance. Psychological studies have highlighted this phenomenon, showing that individuals with a fear of intimacy may engage in self-sabotaging behaviors, such as betrayal, to keep others at arm's length. It's a paradox, really. These individuals crave connection and companionship, yet the fear of being hurt or rejected is so intense that they'd rather betray others before they themselves can be betrayed. One study conducted by the University of California found that individuals with a fear of intimacy are more likely to engage in infidelity within romantic relationships. This is not because they don't value their partner or the relationship, but because the closeness and deep emotional bond that come with intimacy can feel threatening. Betrayal, in this case, provides a way out, a means to create distance and maintain control. On the other hand, betrayal can also serve as a protective mechanism. By betraying others, individuals with a fear of intimacy can avoid the perceived dangers of deep emotional connection. It's a way to shield oneself from the potential pain of rejection, abandonment, or emotional injury. Yet, it's important to understand that fear of intimacy and the resulting betrayal aren't conscious decisions. They're often driven by subconscious fears and insecurities that the individual may not be fully aware of. It's a defense mechanism, a way to cope with the fear of being emotionally vulnerable. But what is the solution? Well, the first step is recognition. Recognizing one's fear of intimacy and its impact on relationships is crucial. With this awareness, one can then work towards addressing these fears. This could involve seeking professional help, such as therapy or counseling, where these fears can be explored and understood in a safe and supportive environment. Over time, individuals can learn to manage their fear of intimacy, to embrace vulnerability, and to build healthier, more fulfilling relationships. However, it's a journey that requires patience, understanding, and self-compassion. In a twisted way, betrayal can be a shield, a way to protect oneself from the perceived dangers of intimacy. It's a complex and paradoxical issue, but understanding it is the first step towards healing and growth. Finally, let's delve into how low self-esteem can be a catalyst for betrayal. Imagine you're on a boat in the middle of an ocean, surrounded by nothing but the vast and unending water. You feel small, insignificant, and completely overwhelmed by the enormity of it all. This is how it feels to have low self-esteem. You see yourself as a tiny, insignificant speck in a world that is vast, complex, and often intimidating. Now imagine this boat is your life. When you have low self-esteem, you feel unworthy of steering this boat, unworthy of taking charge of your own life. You feel that you don't have the right to make decisions, to assert your needs, or to stand up for your rights. This feeling of unworthiness can create a sense of insecurity. You start doubting your own worth, your own abilities, and your own judgment. You feel as if you're not good enough, not smart enough, not attractive enough. You constantly compare yourself to others and always find yourself lacking. And here's where betrayal comes into the picture. This sense of unworthiness and insecurity can lead individuals to betray those who care about them. They may feel undeserving of the love, respect, and trust that others have for them. They may fear that they will inevitably disappoint others, so they choose to betray them first, as a twisted form of self-protection. Psychological studies and theories have linked low self-esteem with destructive behaviors, including betrayal. For instance, the social comparison theory suggests that individuals with low self-esteem are more likely to engage in negative behaviors, such as betrayal, to boost their own self-worth. In a desperate attempt to feel better about themselves, individuals with low self-esteem may betray those who care about them, believing that this will somehow validate their worth. But in reality, all it does is damage their relationships, reinforce their negative self-beliefs, and perpetuate their feelings of unworthiness. In essence, betrayal can be a distorted reflection of one's own feelings of inadequacy. As we've seen, betrayal is a complex issue, rooted in a myriad of psychological factors. Let's take a moment to revisit the key points we've discussed. At the heart of betrayal often lies self-interest. When one's desires or needs take precedence over the well-being of others, betrayal can occur. It's a harsh reality, yet it's essential to acknowledge this aspect of human nature. Next, we explored the fear of intimacy. Some individuals betray those close to them as a defense mechanism, a way to keep others at a distance and protect themselves from vulnerability. Lastly, we delved into the role of low self-esteem in betrayal. Those who lack self-worth may resort to betrayal as a misguided attempt to boost their confidence or gain validation. Understanding these underlying reasons is the first step towards healing and preventing future betrayals. Remember, understanding is the key to forgiveness and ultimately to healing. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the psychology of betrayal.